Upon walking through the El Guinardo neighborhood, it seems visually uneven. Plus, steep streets, aging houses, green spaces, and odd intersections make it feel jumbled, rather than smoothly planned. The Ronda del Guinardo, its main road, slices through without any regard. This walking tour seeks to answer just how exactly did a rural landscape like El Guinardo assimilate into modern Barcelona, and what traces remain today. Before becoming an urban neighborhood, El Guinardo was rural and agricultural. It belonged to the Sant Martí de Provençals municipality, defined by its many vineyards, cereal crops, streams, farmhouses, and steep terrain. Unlike the more industrial districts of Barcelona, El Guinardo built its identity from its agricultural, elevation, and later residential development. But here's what's interesting. One of the most considerable places in its history is Mas Guinardo, the very farmhouse that gave the neighborhood its name. The elevated ground gave the site military importance during conflicts, for the Catalans in the Reapers' War and for the French Bourbon in the War of Spanish Succession. Hence, El Guinardo's geography played a crucial role far before modern city planning. The year 1894 was a turning point for the neighborhood, as Salvador Vieira purchased Mas Guinardo and its surrounding lands. He submitted a plan to divide the estate into streets and countless square plots in 1895. Then, in 1897, St. Martí de Provençals was annexed to Barcelona, and Riera also began developing nearby properties such as Mas Viladomat. Generally, this undertaking created a residential neighborhood of small houses and gardens. Without question, this transformation applied not only to the housing but to the image of El Guinardo as well. On top of that, its elevation, open air, and scenic views made it appear healthier and more desirable than the density below. El Guinardo's real estate values skyrocketed through the exploitation of class-based residential development. The availability of this healthy living was limited to the wealthy, who could afford housing with gardens. Furthermore, Joan Ramon Racina's concept of Barcelona's bourgeoisie urban image describes how neighborhoods could be shaped by images of modern, healthy, and desirable living. No doubt, as a rural residential escape, El Guinardo was a hygienic sanctuary, a deviate from the organized bourgeoisie grid, instead developing naturally in patches of arbitrary housing. From a more critical standpoint, some streets can feel fragmented and disconnected due to the uneven process of El Guinardo's urbanization. The truth is, the Mercat del Guinardo did help to ease this fragmentation. Since the neighborhood lacked a strong civic center, the market helped create one. Really, in 1950, architect Bonaventura Basegoda designed a covered market with a grand interior hall. More than food, the market provided the neighborhood's daily rhythm, fellowship, and a shared space. Montserrat Miller's reading on market building analyzes the effects of these public markets. He finds that markets reflect urban growth by showing where people assemble, shop, and form neighborhood identity. As such, the Mercat del Guinardo became a symbol of community centrality. Later, the market was redesigned into a service block, with a smaller market, health center, youth hub, elderly residence, and nursery. Despite the many new services that came about, this change has attracted a degree of private investment, which Sonia Arbasi critiqued promoted state-led gentrification, which selectively decided which older spaces will be preserved, altered, or erased completely. Let me put it this way. Urban planning does have plenty of shortcomings. Originally associated with early 20th century plans to improve circulation across Barcelona, the Ronda del Guinardo has become an open wound in the neighborhood. It exemplified state planning as social control, and its development brought about expropriations, demolitions, and uncertainty for many businesses. Finally, Park del Guinardo reveals another, perhaps more positive aspect of state intervention in urban planning. Certainly, the city bought land for the commons in the year 1911, and Forestier designed the landscape plan in 1917. Definitely, this park offers its residents green space, walking paths, water features, and beautiful urban city views. Once again, it reinforces the idea of El Guinardo as a healthy, desirable neighborhood. As an outside observer, I only saw El Guinardo through visual cues. its many slopes, roads, buildings, and open spaces. I interpreted these features based on how they first appeared to me, random and piled up, where a longtime resident would see cornerstones of memory, hardship, and belonging. It's important to bear in mind that a neighborhood isn't only its buildings, but also the lived through experiences of its occupants. I now know that El Guinardo is more than a residential district. It's a complex urban chronicle. Its farmhouse, market, park, hospital edge, and ronda all depict Barcelona's expansion by way of rural land exchanges, public services, and infrastructure. Notably, my final research question is this: can public spaces, like markets and parks, repair social and spatial damage from state led infrastructural projects?